So now we are online. You can watch the stream at 4deepsportstalk.com. And, of course, I definitely have to thank my right arm, Jim Jones, for coming over and getting it all up and running. You can call him 508-222-1320 if you have a question for the coach or Mac. As I highlight some of the graphics here. All right, now I'm up to date. There's no fire. We're doing good, Justin, so I'm doing all right.
Well, on the first day of school, that's what I always want to know. What is the schedule?
Right. So, we got a ball player. Is this the other ball player?
Yeah.
Julia, let's get you right. Let's get you right in on. Let me see. Why don't you go on? Doesn't matter. You can grab between coach. Do we have another chair we can grab? We can grab for her. Justin, she grab your chair? Because I know you talked about standing.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get her in the show. There we go. Now we have an official show. Attleboro girls softball is represented.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. So I was just telling Coach, and I was telling Mac that if I asked you a question, just pull the mic towards you so I could hear you. So Mac was just, I don't know if you heard any of it on the way in. Were you listening on the way in at all?
No, I wasn't.
All right, I was just asking Mac about her first year playing and all that, and she gave us a little rundown. And I kind of gave her a tough question. I asked her, did she remember the first team she pitched against? Because, it's tough to be at that varsity level. So now, what position? Why don't you introduce yourself real fast, if you don't mind?
I'm Julia Boyden. I'm a senior, and I am the catcher on the team and also the captain.
Oh, nice. Now, are you the only captain for this year? Okay. Now, how's your senior going? I usually ask this at the end of the question. We have about, I got more than enough time. I'm watching the clock because otherwise, like I told you, we're automatically going to the commercial. But are you attending another for college? Where are you going for college?
I'm going to Bridgewater State, and I'm studying early education.
Oh, good for you. Are you going to play softball there?
I'm going to try out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of hard with the Division III schools because they really don't offer scholarships. Maybe some money off, but, something like that. So let's get your, you know what? We're going to take a break. And we're getting tongue-tied again. We've got about 40 seconds. But when we get back, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about your take on the season so far. Mac told me and Coach told me, young team, right in the middle, a couple games away from clinching the playoffs, jumping in. So we will step away. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA. You can call them when we get back at 508-222-1320. We are highlighting the 2017 Attleboro girls softball. We will be back with more right after this. Hey, welcome back. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA, and online, all one word, 4deepsportstalk.com. You can call in at 508-222-1320. We are highlighting the 2017 Attleboro High School girls softball. And guys, Julie's finally here, so now we finally have the whole crew there, and you can watch them live as we stream this live again on the 4 Deep Sports Talk website. And we had our camera girl come in, Angela Ferrera. She bails me out. She takes all the pictures, and we'll get them all up in line. But, all right, let's talk about the season, Julie. I know we talked a little bit about, but before we went on break, do you remember the question I was going to ask you? No, good, because I forgot too. So we're going to ask another question. I'm only kidding. About the season so far for you, personally.
For me,
Yeah.
I think this is one of my favorite seasons. This is my first year catching full-time on varsity. So it's definitely a big step up. Years past, I was the DH, so now I'm actually out on the field. So that's really nice.
Nice. Now, what position did you play last year? Did you catch last year? Were you like a utility player? Would be a flex player type deal?
Yeah, I was more of a utility. I kind of got put second, third. Tried out a few positions.
Oh, nice. Well, it must be nice to have all that standing by with all that talent. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Gives you
Thank you. Mac's helping me out.
Thanks, Mac. That's why you're in the middle. All right. Yeah, it's always good to have players like that. I mean, last year with Jules, we couldn't take her. You know, you can't take her bat out of the lineup.
Right.
So, you get any of the girls that can hit the ball, especially in this league at this level. Anyone that can hit, you got to find a spot in the lineup. We had a pretty good catcher last year, and Jules was right there. So that's why she was batting number 4. You know.
Right. So that was your flex player? Was she more or less?
Yeah, she was she was actually the extra hitter.
Yeah.
And she would hit for one of the other girls that were actually playing in the field.
Right.
So we use that flex a lot. We've been using it a lot this year.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is, if you can understand it.
Right.
I it's taken me 2 years, and I still don't fully understand it. And I usually send if I have to make a change to it, I send my assistant coach out there and say, go find out how to do this. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I delegate that responsibility.
Well, he wants to volunteer. You got to put him to work, right?
Right, exactly. I can't do everything, you know. I can't do everything.
You know, on that note, before I get to the girls again, Justin, you have a question? I'm sorry, I'm rambling on. Remember, you got to cut me off.
Yes,
you know that.
I do have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
You told us you are the captain. What's it like to be the captain?
There's definitely a lot of responsibility that comes with the captainship. I'm usually pulled in 3 different places at once, but it's been fun, and it's definitely been a learning experience, and I feel like I'm a better leader for it.
Good. You got another one? Or are you going to wait?
Yeah, and this can be for both. What is it like playing against North Attleboro? I have to ask that.
That's a good question.
It's definitely a challenge. It's always going to be like a rivalry. We fight as hard as we can, even though sometimes, yes, we may come up short, but it's definitely been fun, and it will always be a good rivalry between us.
How about you, Jill? What's your take on that?
I know quite a few girls on the North Attleboro team, so it's always kind of fun to joke around with them and kind of, get serious during the game, but then after, make fun of each other for it, and,
Well,
it's definitely a good rivalry.
I noticed a lot because I cover a little bit of play-by-play on the station in Taunton a little bit. I noticed that for the most part, you guys are all pretty easygoing until the game. I mean, you're all friendly when you guys go over the ground rules of the ballpark and you meet in the middle of the day. Meet at home plate, and it's not like there's any animosity. I guess is the right way to say it. You just go out there, meet them, shake their hands, good luck, see you later, and hopefully you're shaking hands and you're up by a lot and the game's over. All right.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's great about that sport, and I think that takes away. I can't speak for lacrosse or even soccer because we haven't had anybody in there yet, or shame on me to go out to catch a game. But for the most part, I think that's what makes the girls. I mean, they're all. I wish I had some. I wish some of these games when I coached baseball, I had some of these hitters like they have these hitters in girls softball. They're so mechanically sound, and some of the boys take that for granted. And they don't understand the approach to get at bat. You know what I mean? And you see that. You girls 9 times out of 10 are fundamentally sound, just approaching the plate, and you get to worry about the rise ball, right? You got to worry about breaking pitch, and the ball's coming at you a good 40 miles an hour. And then there's the old fastball, the bottom drops out of it, and the boys are a little bit further away, so you figure they'd definitely get it, but it is what it is. I know I'm rambling on. I told you I was going to mess up the English language before we got here. But for you girls, now, what advice could you give? I know Max here, but what advice can you give the other kids listening that you've learned in the 4 years being part of this program?
Oof. That there are definitely some ups and downs, but you kind of gotta get through those downs, and there'll be some better times. I've had, my first year, Coach Homer was not my coach, and that was a rough year with the coach in the past, but we got him, and we're so lucky to have him, and he has his days, we have ours, but it definitely is really rewarding in the end, and you just got to stick through it.
There you go.
Get tough.
Now, Mac, what would you like to see different? I mean, you guys are right in the middle of this playoff. What do you think we need to work on to get ready for the final push? What do you see?
For the state tournament?
Yeah, to finally get in, to get us in there. What do you see?
I definitely think we need to. I think our bond is pretty good as a team, but I definitely think our communication could be a little bit better. Get our bats going a little more. Keep our heads in the game throughout the entire game. Don't give up if things get a little tough in the beginning or towards the middle of the game. Just always keep your head in and just be ready for what's next.
Do you think that's what hurt us in the 7 losses? Sometimes we get caught up in a situation that takes us mentally out of the game, especially defense, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that if something goes wrong in the first inning, I think we'll take that, and sometimes we'll get down on ourselves a little bit when we should always be optimistic, kind of what can come next, and there's always a chance to come back.
Now, I wanted to ask you girls both. I don't know. Do you have one more? Do you have another one?
No.
All right. He always plays up. He's the brains of the outfit, just saying. I just want to get that out there right now. Justin always bails me out. So what did you work on? And I'll ask you, this is for both of you girls. What did you guys work? First of all, do you play a different sport besides softball? And then I was wondering, how did you guys get ready for this season? What did you guys do?
Well, I do not play another sport besides softball. I just recently quit basketball this year for softball, but
Yep.
I play year-round. I play on a club team. So a lot goes into that. I have my pitching lessons, hitting lessons. I go to the gym. I do a lot to prepare for the high school season as well as my season outside of it.
Now, what about the gym? You mentioned the gym. I hope I heard you right. The gym, what do you do? How do you work on a routine to get ready for, the varsity level in the gym? Do you do more back? Do you do more legs? Do you do more arm? Well, you are a hurler.
Yeah.
So, what advice or what can you elaborate on as far as getting ready gym-wise, as far as routine?
Yeah, I have a personal trainer, so I do strength and conditioning. So I do arms, legs, I do back, I do everything that goes into the sport basically to improve all aspects of it. So.
How many days of the gym do you go?
As much as I can. So usually I can fit in 2 times a week and then a few times on my own without my personal trainer.
There goes TV.
So.
She's too tired to watch TV. Doesn't have to worry about watching The Voice or anything else. Now, Julie, what about you getting ready for your senior year, or just any other work ethic you use that you can maybe elaborate on? Because it's definitely going to help out the junior players, because Mac's all set. We don't have to worry about her.
Yeah.
But I'm only kidding. The other girls are probably all set, too. I'm just joking around, but.
I also play all year round. I play on a club team, and we have 1 month off in the year, and that's about it. And I also go to a sports gym, and I have a trainer there who works with me, and I have a specific softball catching workout that I do and program that I work through, and I do that twice a week, but when I'm in season I do it once.
Now, is there a certain thing you might do for speed for you girls? Is there a certain exercise you guys use? Because you got to have the agility to play at that high level. And you guys know that better than anybody, playing not just in the Hawk but at the varsity level. What advice or what comes to mind that you could, give the kids listening, or even the youth kids listening, to get ready to play for Coach Homer if they want, hopefully when they want to try out for Attleboro girls softball? As far as the agility part, is there any advice that comes to mind for that? You know what I mean?
Don't run, so.
Oh, you
Oh, I got another question.
All right, what's your question, sir?
Do you prefer playing softball over basketball?
Yes, right now, but it used to be kind of a back and forth thing. I'd like one over the other at one point, and then I'd switch back and forth, but now softball definitely is my life, so.
And that's probably the best way to go, right, Coach, for her or any other athlete to focus on one sport if you want to get looked at by a college. Is that fair to say, you think?
I think that's a great question, because it's everyone has a different view on that. My particular view is that I like to have my athletes play a lot of different sports at a particular point in time. I mean, when they reach the high school level, once they become sophomores, juniors, a decision then at that point might be made by an individual athlete. In this respect, I'll use Birdie for an example. She's an above-average softball player, and her vision is that she would like to play at the next level. So at some point, you do have to break from that, from the tradition of playing sports, different sports all year round. And she'll probably now start, as she's doing now, is concentrate on that one sport. knowing that that's what I want to do. But I mean, up until that point, I think it's, cross training and playing in other sports is going to help you, help you as you go further in high school. You don't see a lot of three sport athletes anymore, and mainly because, like these guys play right through the summer. They play right through the fall, with all the options that are out there, with all the programs that are out there. I coach hockey too, and the first thing I tell my boys at the end of the season is, hang up your skates and go play baseball or go do something else. But again, at some point, you do have to make that decision as an athlete.
The Boston
Hey, welcome back. You are listening to 4 Deep Sports Talk here on the news station, 1320 AM WARA. You can call in at 508-222-1320. We are highlighting the 2017 Attleboro Girls High School Softball. It's actually the first Attleboro team I've been here since we've been here since October, but we were trying to reach out, in this area. And I wanted to thank you guys for coming in. But unfortunately, I made a small error, as Coach was talking, and I would want him, if he doesn't mind, to continue. We were talking about kids playing other sports and getting ready, like you said, tell the kids in the hockey team to take a break, and you know what I mean? So if we can go back on that, please.
Yeah, and excuse me if I repeat myself, but
No, they didn't hear you. The commercial was
they
playing.
did? I usually don't listen.
It's
to
all
the
good.
radio, so.
Yeah.
No, I mean, every coach has a different take on that. I've been coaching for a while, and advice that I've gotten from pro and college levels and other high school coaches, and I go by just telling, whether it's the girls in softball or the boys in hockey, wherever the coaching is that I think it's good to do different sports, use different muscles, and it gives you a different perspective on your main sport. You usually do that right up until, and again, it's different for everyone, but up until your freshman, sophomore year, it's good to play different sports. It's good to have, you don't see a lot of 3-sport athletes anymore.
No, you don't, which is actually good.
And it used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be. I think now, before, there weren't as many options as there are now. No matter what sport it is, you can play all year round.
Right.
And I think there's this, a lot of it comes from the fact that parents might feel that, hey, if you don't play all year round, you're going to fall behind if you're not in this tournament or you're
Right.
not on this team. And an athlete's an athlete. I don't care how often they play. If you're an athlete, it doesn't mean that you have to play 4 straight seasons of the same sport. Always doing it. So I always tell my athletes to take a break from it, not just for the physical part of it, but to create a new love for the game. I mean, if you do something all the time,
Right.
Since you were 12 years old or 10 years old, and we've seen this. We've seen this on the softball team. You're 15, 16, 17 years old, and all of a sudden, you start thinking about all those times you might miss where you could have been with friends, and you miss that part of your life at a young life. I think you have to create the love for the sport as well, and you're going to walk away from it. But with that said, I think at some point also, and again, I'll use Mac as an example. She might have stepped away from basketball because she wants to concentrate more on the sport of softball, and she's a sophomore, going to be a junior. That's when coaches start coming out and looking, and so on and so forth. And it might, in her eyes, it's something that she may want to do beyond high school. So she, at that point, you do concentrate on that one sport to get better and better, because it's very, very highly competitive at the college level in order
Right.
to play at that level. So at that point, so it changes for each girl or each boy or whatever the sport may be. But that's my philosophy on
No,
as
that's
far as
good.
playing all year
I
round,
appreciate that. Yeah. All right, girls. So I have a question for you. I need you to do me a favor. And sometimes I forget it, and always Justin bails me out one way or another.
You better tell him what the favor is before you ask him.
I'm going to ask him right now. Could you guys help us with the roster and maybe give a shout at the same time to some of the kids, the other girls on the team?
Sure. I definitely think we do have a young team, so our shortstop definitely has been coming up big in a lot of games. Our second baseman as well. She just came back to softball. She stopped playing for almost 5 years, and she's been coming up big in a few games. Julia her bat has been huge in the lineup, I think, and our center fielder, also Ashley, has made some very crucial plays when they mattered most, and yeah.
All right, who do we leave out? I know we had to leave out somebody.
Well, we have two pitchers. They're twins, and they have helped back Mac up on the mound, and also they've played their role at first and in the outfield. So they've, kind of been really flexible. We've had a few third basemen trying out for that spot, but they've all been really competitive, which is awesome because during the game they try their best because they want to earn that spot.
Right.
So that's always been really nice.
All right, did we leave anybody else out? Anybody? I was hoping you knew them by name so we could give them a shout out. That's what I meant.
Oh, I would.
No? You know what? We'll give it back to the coach. And first, let's go over your coaching staff because you know better than anybody. If you don't have your help at each level, you ain't going to have a successful program. So then we may
No.
mention some of the kids.
Yeah,
So we don't leave them out.
Yeah.
Sure. My coaching staff, which is obviously very, very important, we wouldn't have the success we have without them. Our JV coach is Bailey Moore. She actually played for me my first year that I took over the program. She's at Bridgewater State now, and I caught up with her after she had graduated and asked her if she would help out the program. And she volunteered, to do
Nice.
that. She's done a great job at the JV level. My assistant coach, who was a JV coach and then moved up once last year, is Michaela Lynch. And she's been awesome. She works at the school as I do, so we're constantly, we both have the first block off at the day, and it's a regular meeting ground for us when we first go into school. At 7:30 in the morning, we get together and talk about what happened in the game or what we're going to do at practice or whatever. So she's really, really, really in tune, and it's good to have her because she's, she can work with the girls, on things that maybe I can't,
Right.
So it gives a different perspective for the girls. So they've done a great job. We also have a trainer who comes in a couple times a week or once a week, who's actually my assistant coach on the hockey, and Drew Fernberg, who's helped us out as well. The girls love it when he comes on the field because they know they have to do their workout, and it's usually at the end of practice.
Mac just swallowed her Adam's apple, I think, when you said that.
Yeah. It's not that, But some of the other girls going around the diamond, obviously we got Mac on the mound. It's done a great job. Jules is behind home plate. She was injured there for about 3 or 4 weeks. About 3 weeks, I think it was. She got injured in a game, and Michaela Kalane, who was a freshman, had to step in right in the middle of the game. Jules had to pull herself out in the middle of a batter. And Shay went right in. She played the next 3 or 4 games and just did a great job. And it's not easy.
No, it's not.
Mac happened to be pitching that game, and the first thing she said to me after that inning, she came off and said, "Oh my God, she throws hard. Her hands all red." So, she was nervous about it, but she did a great job. She really did. Then at first base, when Mac's not pitching, Mac will play first, and then we have one of the twins, Jenna Gittle, who also pitches. She'll play first base. Second baseman is Jordan Lako. That's the girl that Mac mentioned that has been out of the picture for a few years and decided to come back and play some softball, and has done a great job. She's our leadoff hitter. She's got speed on the bases, and she's just done a fantastic job at second. At shortstop, Mackenzie Kilo, who's a freshman, a big part of the infield. she's a great shortstop. She's just a natural athlete, and like Max said, she's made some unbelievable stops at short that we haven't had in the past. You know, inning killers that. She's done a great job. She made the last play of the game against Mansfield with the bases loaded. It was a ground ball to her at shortstop, and that's a precious situation for someone that's not used to that, knew that we needed to win that game and made the play. So she'll make plays like that during the year. On third base, we have three girls, as Jules said, Kayla Battisti, Vanessa Dancer, and I call her Cagney, Chelsea Kilcagney. The three of them have been competing all year for that position. It's sort of a swinging door over there. You know, and we're trying to find a good fit. So they've been internally competing but supporting each other as well.
Nice.
In left field, we have a returner, Ilya Calverley. She played last year as well. She's been a stalwart out there defensively for us out in the outfield. Center field, we have Ashley Machia, who's a freshman. She's really grown into that center field spot. She's now moved up in the lineup. It's a number 5 hitter. She's had some big hits for us during the year. And then in right field, when Emily Giddle is not pitching, who's the other twin, she may play some right field as well. Her bat, we try to keep her bat into the lineup if she's not pitching. But the starter out there now is, thank you. I was running out, yeah. Casey Whalen. Casey's a junior. She played for us last year out in right field, and she can track a ball. She's our tracker out in the outfield. She's got speed out there. She's a great kid. She's a funny kid. She has a good sense of humor. So it sort of lightens it up having her out there with the other girls out there. She's done a great job. And then we have Brianna Slaney, who came up from the JVs, and she's on the bench right now with being our runner. We didn't have that luxury last year with the team, be able to put in runners in critical situations. So I think did I miss anyone, girls? Is there anyone else that?
Who's the bat girl?
missed?
No more kidding.
Bad girl, yeah, the on deck hitter.
There you go.
Yeah,
Right.
consistent. So it's been good.
All right, quick 60 seconds shout outs. Who do you want to shout out to? Your mom, your dad, your dog, your boyfriend, anybody.
Can be
Yeah,
anybody.
definitely want to shout out to my parents who's helped me along the way and helped me achieve all my goals. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely my parents, but I also have to say my club coach, Janelle Carlson, she has gone above and beyond to help me in the off season to train for this and also with college and recruitment and stuff.
Coach, you want to shout out to anybody? Your wife, anybody?
Yeah, I better, huh?
You better.
I won't
You're
be
welcome.
eating tonight, and I'll be sleeping with the dog in the doghouse. No,
Oh, boy.
she's been great. Shout out to my wife Denise. She actually, allows me to do what I do.
Right.
And when I come home and I'm upset and the whole bit, she sits there and she's able to listen. And my daughter, who's sitting over there, I got to thank her because I never probably would have got involved with softball. She's taught me a lot and how to deal with girls. It's not easy, but going through the years of coaching her really educated me on the right way to do things when you are coaching girls. And hi to my son out in Arizona.
All right, guys.